Let's go tour the garden. Some peppers. Oh, there's a nice pepper. I'm excited about all the tomatoes and all the varieties that are out here. Everything seems to be doing well. And I'm really, really excited about how these pole beans are trellising all the way up. And so beautiful. It's going to really fill in a few more weeks. And that's what I'm waiting to see. The other side's starting to go too. So when they meet in the middle, it'll be really nice and shady. Y'all see I've got plenty of weeding to do. And I got some zucchini going. I've already picked 3 or 4 zucchinis and 3 or 4 squash. And several of the Kentucky Wonder green beans, several peppers. And there's one of my little squash getting ready. And yellow vernissage tomatoes. And here's something exciting. The first cucumber. And there's some other little babies over here too. Not sure if we can see that. The sun's glaring on my camera, so it's hard for me to tell what I'm actually getting footage of. And this is the loofah vine, and she is going, and so pretty to me. Even if she doesn't put off any loofah at all, I just think she's beautiful, and I have enjoyed watching her grow. From the first time the slugs tried to take her out until now, she's just beautiful. We've got some peppers, and I've picked several of these Anaheims, just trying to let the bush produce more. And there's some jalapenos. This is the lemon squash that I planted. And on the other side is a birdhouse gourd. And speaking of birdhouses, can y'all see what I put up the other day before I left for my trip? A neighbor that y'all hear me talking about, her brother that built my porch also does birdhouses. Now he does some really fancier, you know, expensive ones, but I got this one from him to put out here in the garden. I noticed a lot of cardinals out here, and I've not noticed them really doing any kind of damage, but I felt like they needed a place to go, so I'm gonna let them build a nest in there. Gonna put some seeds out. I've got some bird seed in the house that I need to put out. I didn't put it out before I left because of my cats. My cats can fly. Cash thinks he's a dog with wings, I guess, and then Mittens is an ultimate hunter. So, and they climb this pole. I've got some footage from the other day of where they were climbing the pole and sitting on top of the house. So I didn't want to put any seed out while I was gone. That way I could kind of monitor what's going on out here and try to keep them from killing all the birds. Like I said, Mittens is she's an intense hunter. Onions going. More zinnias. Waiting on those. And some red noodle beans right there. And here is 2 of the Cherokee Tan pumpkins. So these are doing really, really well. These are the ones that I planted from seed, just straight out here into the garden. And we're just gonna watch them grow. That's the main thing, watching them grow. Now, these blacktail mountains, I've told y'all already, they're not doing anything. I think the cat's digging around in here, and maybe the black cow that I had put in here was too hot at the time, because it was wet. And I didn't think about it actually being a hot compost, you know. So I've got some restarted in the house. I may just pull those up and stir that up a little bit, make sure it's not actually cooking down on the bottom, and replant. You can see some of my younger tomatoes here. Some of the peppers that are making their comeback. Now, I'm not expecting these peppers to do anything. I just wanted to see if they could survive being tore down to the bottom from the slugs. And as you can see, they're coming back. So, some of them I replaced with a little bit bigger plants. There's my slug dish, it's empty of beer. I didn't put any out last night. I hadn't put any out since I came back, mainly because the plants are bigger and I'm not seeing where the slugs are attacking them anymore. So they really like the young leaves. I do have a few green beans that need to be harvested so that the plant can continue to produce. And what I've been doing is taking these in the house, snapping them and putting them in the freezer. Not washing them first, but just putting them in the freezer to save them until time to use them or until I get enough to can. And that's what I'll do. I'll pull them out, wash them up good, throw them in jars to be canned. Mom loves green beans. I love green beans. My father-in-law and Terry do not like them. They don't know what they're missing. I think they're un-American. They like peas and things. So I've got a tomato plant here that needs staked up, obviously. It has fell over with the weight of its tomatoes. It was a short indeterminate, so I really didn't think I would need to stake it, but obviously that's going to have to be done in just a moment. The others are staked and tied with a little piece of green yarn. And a lot of them are tied in a couple of places because with the weight of all the tomatoes, they are getting heavy. But I'm excited for the harvest and to see how much or how far these go. Now, I know that it's not going to go as far as I need. So I will be going to the U-Pick farm. That's about almost an hour away from me. And really buying a lot of tomatoes. Last year I bought somewhere around 6 to 10, I can't exactly remember, 5-gallon buckets full. And I was out of tomatoes by Christmas. So this year I'll buy double, and then I'll have these out here. And if I can get more, then I'll get more, because I use tomatoes in lots of things. I can vegetable soups and marinaras and sauces and salsa and just different things. I like to can pureed tomatoes. for making spaghetti sauce, and I'll can that too if I get enough made at one time. I really like canning. It is, with tomatoes, it's a long process. I can spend 10 hours a day doing that, and I did do that last year. Couple times I spent 10 hours of scoring, blanching, de-seeding, and peeling, and all that, because I had so many at one time that it was so worth it. I love it. Just love fresh tomatoes, and I'm really excited about mine because they are completely organically grown. There's no pesticides, other than in the beginning they got a tiny bit of DE on the peppers beside them. It was not on the tomatoes, it was on the peppers, because I was trying to run off the slugs, and there wasn't any blooms. Now once anything started blooming, I didn't bring DE back out here. I'm just not going to do that. Didn't want to hurt the bees. The bees are so vital. And if you're a beekeeper, let me just go ahead and say thank you. I'm not a beekeeper, and I'm not into that, but Jen is, and so I'm learning things along with her. We sat in a beekeeping class at the convention with Jade the Bee Man, and I really enjoyed it, and I learned a few things. It's not something that I plan to do anytime soon. Now, if there's an established beekeeper in our area, and I know there are a couple, and they want to locate a hive or two over here, yay, I'll let them, as long as they're responsible for it, and I'm not the one out there having to lift frames and such. They're more than welcome to bring them here, though. And I am trying to plant things for other pollinators too. And I'm trying to be very cautious to protect the habitat and to work on the soil conservation. Got some geraniums. They're very pretty. These others have bloomed and spent, but I think they'll come back like these. But now you've been updated on the garden. It's looking very nice. I'm very hopeful. And I'm very thankful for each of you that have been watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Not only to my channel, but to other small channels. And of course, to Single Dad Homestead. That is my buddy now. You know, I've been joking in all of his live feeds, live streams, that I was going to be the protective mama heifer and kind of helicopter mom him. But once we met and he saw me, he said I wasn't old enough for that. So I said, well, it's okay. I'll be your flossy, bossy big sister. And his sister and I were talking yesterday, and she said I had to stand in line behind her. So I said, that's okay. We'll just tag team and gang up on him. So we've got to deal with amongst ourselves. And we're going to look out for that boy. And of course, sweet Elin. I'm telling you what, that girl is something else. She's so precious. And you can tell her daddy has done a great job raising her. And he is very, very knowledgeable, and she is very knowledgeable. For a 5, almost 6-year-old, she's got it going on. So y'all check all these other channels out that y'all hear us talking about. Y'all just check these folks out. Check your friends out. If you see them in a feed and you don't know who they are, click on them. Read their about page. See what you can find out. Watch a few minutes of a video. And let's just help each other out, because that's what it's about. It is about building a family. And we are definitely family. And we're going to go to bat for each other. And we'll protect each other when we can. And it's a good thing.